I thought I'd talk a little bit more about the virtual visits that I'm offering schools. I worked as a primary school teacher for 7 years, but I've spent the last 6 years going into schools as a visiting author. So I'm very experienced talking with children of all ages, getting them excited about reading for pleasure, but also excited about writing their own stories. Everything from reception up to year 7. If I was going to do a Key Stage 1 session, I'd probably recommend a 30-minute virtual storytelling session, probably on my picture book Space Tortoise, which is illustrated by David Litchfield. I'd introduce myself, I'd talk a little bit about the book, and then I'd read it from start to finish. I'd do that with an animated slideshow, so the children will get to see all the beautiful detail in the illustrations. For upper Key Stage 1 and all the way through Key Stage 2, I'd probably recommend a 30 to 40-minute session on one of my books. I write chapter books for ages 5 to 7, but I also write longer novels for ages 8 plus. I talk a bit about myself and about being an author, how that happened, the kind of things that I do in my job. But I'd also present a little bit about the book and explain about the inspiration behind it, where those ideas came from, and how I changed and adapted them into the story that I wrote. For example, if I was talking about The Midnight Guardians, this coming out in September. This is a book that's set during World War II, so I'd maybe talk a little bit more about the research that I did going into it, maybe tie it into the Key Stage 2 topic that you'll be doing with your children in that class. I would then do a reading. If it was a book that you had already covered with your class, I could maybe read the next chapter that they got up to, or do a chapter of their choosing. And then I'd finish with a Q&A, so they'd get to ask me questions about being an author, about the book, any of those things they've wanted to find out. If you wanted, I could then set up a creative challenge for them to continue in class. Maybe write some creative writing of their own, or maybe have a go coming up with their own characters. For my sessions, I do tend to focus on things like vocabulary and the difference that it makes. I like to focus on sensory description, things like simile, metaphor, but for me the most important of all is editing and about the difference that it makes, not just about fixing spelling and adding in punctuation where it's needed, but about changing the words that you've used and thinking about the difference that they make. If you have any more questions, please feel free to get in touch. As an ex-teacher, I'm very, very comfortable adapting what I do to focus on what it is that your school wants. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much.